Welcome to the Configure Screens module. Notice that All-Touch TE is the name of the Zebra Technology solution for the Velocity solution sourced through Wavelink. So even though you see Velocity on the screen, this is the All-Touch TE solution sold through Zebra. Click on the Next button to continue. The screens you import to the All-Touch TE console and format using themes and custom screen element styles must be captured, and we learned about that in the Capture Screen module. If you are not familiar with how to capture screens, you should access that module before moving forward here. In this module, we will discuss how to import .wltsc files into the All-Touch TE console. Next, we will discuss how to configure the key text fields that confirm what screens to reconfigure. Then, we will do a review of the screen elements and what unique features are available when editing and creating screen elements. Last, we will talk about the context menu, a pop-up menu that can be made available per screen or globally. After capturing screens from the TE client, you can import the screens associated with your host profile server to a project and stylize individual screen elements for a more unique appearance. If you plan on only using the automated predictive formatting, you don't need to import screens into a project. But for those who will take advantage of the All-Touch TE console, we will step through how to make it all happen. From the All-Touch TE console main screen, you can either open a new project by clicking on the New Project button in the top right corner, or open an existing project from the listing in the middle pane of the main screen workspace. This will bring you to the host profile screen by default. From the All-Touch TE console menu, click on Screens. From the Screens menu option workspace, the All-Touch TE console is now ready to accept imported screens. From the top middle of the workspace, click on Add Screens. The All-Touch TE console can import, edit, and configure only screens with a .wltsc extension. When you add screens, the dialog will look directly for the .wltsc extension, which stands for Wavelink Telnet Screen Captures. In the example, the file Acme Screen Capture Configured is selected. It was built in a previous module. Click on Open after the file is selected. All screens in the file will be deployed to the Screens workspace. The theory of key text is that you can create a screen template rule upon which reformatting changes are based. If other screens contain the selected key text, that screen is automatically reformatted to the styles applied to the template screen. Key text match is freeform and does not discriminate on column and row. But key text order on the screen matters. In this example, TSK number must come before ALOC. ALOC must come before item, and item must come before scan location. If all those things do not happen in that exact order, the screen will not be selected by the algorithm for to be a template. Since this template has been created, any screen that has key text in the same order will be configured exactly the same. The cursor position is also selected by default as key text. This functionality does discriminate on column and row of the cursor. This allows for a screen with multiple input fields to determine exactly what screen and input is being required. When a screen is added into the All-Touch TE console, key text selections are automatically chosen for the screen using a predefined algorithm built into Velocity. In the same example, the text TSK number : ALOC : item : and scan location : were all selected as key text. The cursor is also selected by default. It is possible to unselect text and the cursor, as we will learn later in the module. If you need to change the key text that was chosen by the predictive algorithm, it is possible to remove the key text designation from one or more fields. To do this, find the field you want to remove the designation from, and do a left mouse click anywhere on the field. A menu appears with an X. Click on the X. The key text designation is removed from the field. If you need to add a key text that was not chosen by the predictive algorithm, it is possible to add a key text designation to one or more fields. To do this, find the field that you want to add the designation from and highlight that field. A menu appears with two options. The first is to add key text. Click the key text menu option as shown here. The field will now have a key text designation. The cursor position is also selected by default as key text. This functionality does discriminate on column and row of the cursor. This allows for a screen with multiple input fields to determine exactly what screen and input is being required. Later in the module, we will discuss how to add key text to a cursor field if the designation has been lost or changed from the original predictive algorithm. Let's review the screen elements available to an administrator to configure. Each screen consists of multiple elements. Each of these are editable through the All-Touch TE console, which offers multiple configuration options to create unique or branded styling that is applied via the app's built-in HTML and CSS rendering engine. Elements in the Screen Options workspace are edited on a per-screen basis, meaning the changes you make to a single screen element won't be applied to all elements of a similar type globally. Only the same elements on that screen. Through the use of themes, you can create formatting styles for each element type that is applied across all screens. That was discussed in the Project Settings module. The banner element, when configured to On, activates a banner element that appears at the top of the screen. A banner can consist of an image, banner title, or both. Think of the header element as the title of the screen that is being displayed. This is the way the user is able to determine just what screen they are working on. Configuration of the banner and header elements follow all of the general predefined styles that was discussed in the Formatting Rules module. The data label element is dynamic subheader text that is used to label fields. This element allows you to change the label for an All-Touch TE HTML rendered screen, but will not alter the black and green version of this label. The data type element is static subheader text that is used to label fields. This text for this value cannot be altered. Configuration of the data label and data type elements follow all of the general predefined styles that was discussed in the Formatting Rules module. The field element defines one or more input fields on a screen. The All-Touch TE client can take input from a keyboard, scanner, or other defined input methods. The menu element will display items in a menu format on the All-Touch TE screen. When one of the menu elements is selected by the user, the corresponding attribute is sent to the process to move forward in the application. Configuration of the field and menu elements follow all of the general predefined styles that were discussed in the Formatting Rules module. Let's now review the general edits that can be done to an element. This was also discussed in the Format Rules module, but we will talk a little about it here as a refresher. Each element has its own default styles associated, as set by All-Touch TE's predictive formatting. We call this Element Predefined Styles, The configurations can be edited by an administrator globally or by each screen. In the Screen Menu Option workspace, elements are edited on a per-screen basis, meaning the changes you make to a single screen element won't be applied to all elements of a similar type globally, just to the same elements on the current screen. Only through the use of themes, you can apply formatting edits for each element type across all screens. That was discussed in the Project Settings module. The font family specifies which font to use for the element. When this value is set, all elements of the same type are subject to the same font family styles. They are serif, sans serif, and monospace. The font size specifies the size of the element's font text. This can be adjusted from 10 to 20 points. The default value is dependent on the element type selected. The font color specifies the color of the visible text for this element. This is only the font color and does not pertain to the background color of the element. The font background color specifies the background color of this element. Be aware that if there is not any contrast with the font color, the text might not be night-readable to the user. Once the font family, size, and color is configured, you can also configure the style of the font. Bold option. Selecting this option bolds the element text. Italics option. Selecting this option italicizes the element text. Underline option. Selecting this option underlines the element text. By default, none of these options are selected, so they must be user configured. Again, these are configurable attributes that are common to all elements. Now, we will discuss some things you can do to screens and screen elements to make the screen more readable and make the user more productive. When working with screen elements, there are 4 options. You can modify a screen element, create a screen element, move a screen element, and reset the whole screen back to original theme. We will discuss each of these options in the slides ahead. When we modify the elements, we change the configuration that was defined by the predictive algorithm. When you first enter the Screen Menu Option screen, there are some configurations that can be done that are part of the screen. They have to do with the banner element and the screen background color. The banner element is a little different. It can be created as part of a theme or on a screen-by-screen basis. If the banner element was defined as a theme, but it is not wanted on a particular screen, then you can use the Suppress Banner to keep the banner off this screen. Move Suppress Banner to On, and the theme-configured banner is gone. If there is no banner set by a theme, you can also add a banner to a particular screen. Move Banner Element to On. Configure all the settings, such as the title and image file, and the banner will be added. The background color changes the background of the screen. Be sure the color does not hide any of the screen text by making the color a direct offset of the text. Here, a black background easily shows the maroon text, the lime input fields, and the white banner text. The field element is also a little different when it comes to editing. Besides the font and color settings, the field element contains a section for keyboard properties. There are 3 properties that can be configured. Display Keyboard sets the behavior of the keyboard pop-up when a field element is displayed by the Alt-HTE client. The settings are Show. The keyboard automatically appears when tabbing to the field. Hide. If the keyboard is active, it automatically hides when tabbing to the field. And Disable. Both custom and default keyboards cannot be used when tabbing to the field. The Portrait Keyboard option sets the default custom keyboard to use when the screen is displaying in portrait mode. If left blank, the default custom keyboard is used, which is the topmost keyboard listed on the keyboard's panel of the keyboard screen. The Landscape Keyboard option sets the default custom keyboard to use when a screen is displaying in landscape mode. If left blank, the default custom keyboard is used, which is the topmost keyboard listed on the keyboard's panel of the keyboard screen. When you want to modify a menu element to just highlight the element you want to change, the predictive algorithm tries to attach a valid command to each menu text item. Those will be shown when you click on the menu item. There are two fields that can be edited. The text field is the text that appears as the menu item. The command field associates a specific key press with a menu item. When selected, the associated behavior with that key press is sent to the host profile. Accepted commands include the following key presses: numbers, F1 through F24, control, single letter, upper or lowercase, and hex code value. Please review the help documents to learn the exact syntax. To modify all other screen elements, we need to click on the Elements button on the screen's Option workspace. To change an element from the style selected by the predictive element, we just highlight the element we want to change. In this example, we have the login colon set to a data label. We want to make it a header so it is bigger and bolder on the screen. From the Element Type drop-down menu, select Header. The login colon element now displays in red and in bigger font based on the theme created earlier. If a new element is needed on the screen, the All-Touch TE console has the ability to add and arrange the new element anywhere on the screen. To create a new screen element, select an area on the screen. A menu will appear on the screen under the New Element area. Click on New Element arrow. The new element will appear at the bottom of the reformatted screen workspace. It is now ready to be edited and moved to where it is needed on the screen. Now that the new unformatted element has been created, it can be moved using a drag and drop motion into the place on the reformatted screen where it is desired. In the example, it will be moved up above the ALOC data label. Once the element is moved, you can edit its properties. We edit the properties the same as any other element. When you are finished, you will see the newly created element on the screen in the correct position. As we learned earlier, the cursor position by default is included as part of the key text selection done by the predictive algorithm. If that designation is cleared and you want to add it back, it is possible using the menu command Add Cursor Zone. In this example, the cursor is not part of the key text algorithm. To add cursor position verification, highlight the length of the cursor field. A menu will appear. Select the option Add Cursor Zone. The cursor verification is now added to that screen. As we say in the last screen, elements can be moved. Using a drag and drop motion, we will move the ALOC data label down below the item data label. Notice that no matter what changes are made in the reformatter screen workspace, the host screen information is unchanged. All-Touch TE never makes changes to the original host application. It just makes the screens more readable so the user can be more productive. Another way of moving elements is to combine elements on a line. It is sometimes called spanning. In this example, we will add the input field for the user and password with their data labels. This gains screen real estate as well as makes the screen look cleaner. Sometimes mistakes happen, or you do not like the changes that were made to a specific screen. That is where the Reset Screen button comes into play. Anytime you want to erase changes made to a screen, you can click on the Reset button. Any changes that were made to the screen outside the parameters of the theme imposed will be erased. The screen will look the same as it did when you first looked at it. A context menu is an on-screen menu that can be brought up by clicking on the menu icon on the lower left portion of the All-Touch TE client screen. Each time you click on the context menu button, you will see what items have been configured. In this example, there are no menu items. When you want to add items to the menu, just click on the Add button. Specify the menu item as screen-specific or global. If set to Off, the menu item appears only on the context menu for the current screen. If set to On, the menu item appears on the context menu for every screen. The menu item title is the text that appears as label for a context menu item. The shortcut command associates a specific key press with a menu item. When selected, the associated behavior with that key press is sent to the host profile. Accepted commands include the following key presses: F1 through F24, Control, single letter, upper or lowercase, and hex code value. Please review the help documents to learn the exact syntax of the shortcut command. When you complete a menu entry, you click on Done. That saves the time into the menu to continue adding items to your menu. Follow the steps of click on Add, then select Global or Local Items, Menu Item Titles, and Shortcut Commands until the menu is completed. If you set a menu item in error at any time, you can highlight the menu option you do not need, and then click on Remove. The item will be removed from the list of menu options. The finished menu will be split into two sections. 1. Screen menu items, which apply to the local screen. And 2. Global menu items that will appear on all context menus throughout the project. You have now completed the Configure Screens module.